Devil's hand grabbed Maggie, who had horns growing from her head. She was cradled in the demon's arms. Marge somehow found herself there as well. To her surprise, Bart was there too.
And I've got Millhouse growing on my back. I'm the front and you're the back. I'm the front. Oh! Ow!
Marge woke up from the nightmare. To keep Maggie from being taken by the devil, she told Homer to find a kind-hearted godfather to baptize her. Homer had no choice but to carry Maggie around town in search of one. But suddenly, a piano fell from the sky. The mob boss Fat Tony saved them. Homer thought he would make a great godfather, but then realized that having a mob boss in that role might be a little dangerous. Fat Tony noticed how adorable Maggie was and offered to become her godfather. He was very persistent, and Homer didn't dare refuse. Marge didn't like the idea of a mob boss serving as Maggie's godfather. Just then, Fat Tony arrived at the Simpsons' house. He noticed that Maggie's car seat was unsafe. Fat Tony bought her a high-quality car seat. To match it, he even gave Marge a luxury car.
Blind spot monitors, built-in humidor, a GPS that doesn't think it's better than you.
Sure, let's try it your way.
Marge loved the car, but she still refused to let Fat Tony become Maggie's godfather. Fat Tony said he could help Maggie get into an elite preschool. Marge decided to pretend to agree until she could find a way out.
Godfather.
Maggie's baptism went smoothly.
Welcome to the family.
After the ceremony, Fat Tony invited the Simpsons out for dinner. He also brought out family heirlooms left to him by his mother, a Bible and $10.
Mama.
Fat Tony was very gentle with Maggie. Marge began to think he was actually a pretty good godfather. She happily drove around in her luxury car.
Whoa, Mama!
No!
Fat Tony even assigned members of his crew to protect Maggie. When a boy stole one of Maggie's toys, the gang members immediately taught him a lesson. Fat Tony spent so much time with Maggie that he no longer had time to collect protection money. His associates became deeply concerned about the future of the organization, but all Fat Tony wanted was to be with Maggie. One of the gang members joined a rival crime family. Together, they planned to kill Fat Tony. Marge started noticing that Maggie was behaving strangely, but Homer thought everything was fine because Maggie had been accepted into the elite preschool. At that point, Fat Tony took the Simpsons to church. Marge noticed that Maggie's mannerisms were exactly like Fat Tony's. She decided that he could no longer be Maggie's godfather. She told Homer to talk to him about it, but Fat Tony spoke first. Because Maggie was so adorable, he wanted to invite the Simpsons to an ice skating show the following Sunday. To become a better godfather, Fat Tony even started running legitimate businesses. However, his subordinates were very unhappy with that kind of leadership. Maggie entered the elite preschool, and Fat Tony gave her a gold necklace. Maggie's behavior was becoming more and more like that of a mobster. Marge worried that her daughter would grow up to be a bad girl.
Maggie, what are you doing? I didn't mean it, Maggie!
So she told Fat Tony to stay away from Maggie. Fat Tony was disappointed. He said he first needed to take care of something very important. Fat Tony decided to retire from his life of crime. He planned to cleanse his soul through legitimate business ventures. Maggie was his motivation, and he swore that he only needed one day to prove himself. On the day of the ice skating show, the traitor prepared to assassinate Fat Tony. Marge intended to publicly announce that Fat Tony was no longer Maggie's godfather, but it turned out that Fat Tony had reserved the entire skating rink. Fat Tony refused to step down. He swore before God that he would take care of Maggie. Then, the traitor, Johnny, made his move. He was about to shoot Fat Tony, but at the critical moment, two gang members stopped him. They would never betray their boss. While dealing with the traitor, Fat Tony saw the disappointment on Maggie's face. He realized that the mob lifestyle was too deeply rooted in his nature to change. He voluntarily gave up his role as her godfather. Fat Tony thanked Maggie for all the happiness she had brought into his life, but now it was time to say goodbye.
I'm not afraid to say it. If this keeps up, I'm calling HR.
You mean Harry the Rat? He's buried right over there.